What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review of Lost. This is season 1, episode 4, Walkabout. Now, walkabout, 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 walkabout. It said walk it out. Okay, they ain't saying walk it out, but I'm saying walk it out. But the title is Walkabout. This has got to be one of my favorite episodes. We have a lot of characters that we still learn in the background about. And this one is about John Locke. He is probably one of my favorite characters because he has so many layers that are going to unfold throughout these years. So far, we know on this particular island, there are polar bears on a tropic island, okay? We know that a loud horn sounds at a specific time of day out of nowhere. Monstrous things that creeping through the tall grass. A SOS signal in French from the only survivor from her arrival team. It's been transmitting for 16 years. We got a wanted criminal in our mix, but there's other mysterious things going on this island. There's other mysterious things that this island has to offer, and I'm totally here for it, y'all. So we go back to day 1 of the crash. Right before the plane exploded. Remember, he had leaking gas. Charlie was there walking by the plane. John Locke is lying there, face up in the sand. Shannon screaming, help me. Jen screaming, must be looking for son. They all screaming at the top of their lungs. And John Locke, and yes, I'm probably going to say his entire name most of the time because his name deserves to be said. He lays there and wiggles his toes. He's alive. That's what he does know in more ways than one. Okay, he reaches for a nearby shoe, and he sits up and puts it on. Okay, just as casual as he want to be. Vincent, the dog, is over there barking like crazy, child. And then we're brought back into present day where Vincent is again barking like crazy. Something is out there. It's roaring sounds echoing through the night. Then you hear glass shattering and bash all over. It's coming from the plane, the fuselage. Okay, Kate is like, who the heck is in there? And everybody in there is dead, girl. That's what we know. Everybody in there is dead. Jack like, okay, it must be Sawyer, throwing salt at Sawyer. But Sawyer like, no, sir. I'm standing right here. I'm right here. Okay. So Jack, Sawyer, and Charlie, and Kate, she always goes off with them. They decide to go to the plane to investigate to see what's going on. The sounds got louder. The growling got more desperate sounding. And whatever was there was just tossing stuff to and fro inside that plane. Just crashing sounds everywhere, right? But it was so dark in there that they could not see a thing. Jack had a little light, it was had a small beam on her. But Sawyer had a big boy. He was like, let's fire this thing up. He turned the light on, bright. As soon as he did that, baby, a pair of glowing eyes turned toward him. Baby, they hightailed it out of there. Like, I didn't know where the hell they was going because they was right there on the beach where everybody was sleeping all the doggone time. So everybody started losing their shit. It ended up being a pair of wild boars. They was huge, big than the mug. Now, I know boars will attack your ass, okay? If they feel threatened, they gonna attack. Okay, but these two boars just charged right into the jungle. He didn't left them the fuck alone right then. Okay, so then Jack tells everybody, look here, we're gonna need to burn these bodies. And people are against it. Like Saeed is like, what about people's beliefs, people's religions? Jack said, we ain't got no time for that shit. We need to burn these bodies and we need to do it now. Because every wild animal that's in that jungle is gonna be coming for dinner. Okay, so we burn at dusk. I give y'all to the morning. Collect everybody's gatherings, get some burnt twigs and some bush and everything like that. We gonna set it on fire at night. Okay, now me and Charlie was like, why night? Well, Jack is hoping that somebody's gonna see the flames. It's been 4 days since they've been out there and ain't nobody found them yet. But in the morning, Saeed, he had other plans. It makes sense for him to find out where the power source that was coming from. It has to be a power source on that island, especially if that signal has been looping for 16 years. It's not just a power source, it's strong as fuck, right? But now Hurley and Sawyer get to tussling. Okay, I was like, why is Sawyer picking on Hurley? But that wasn't it. Hurley wanted Sawyer to serve the food that he had in his backpack. Okay, he had some peanuts that he wanted to give to everybody, and Sawyer like the fuck you will. You's a big boy. The only reason why you coming after me because you don't want to get your fair share. Okay, so they up here tussling and fighting, and Jack and I think it was Michael had to break them up. No, Jack and Saeed, they always breaking everybody up. They had to break everybody up and everything. And I'm like, why y'all don't get them boars? Okay, get them boars y'all saw last night. Food for a couple of days. Me and Saeed, we don't even eat pork, but I bet you we would stay alive. You know what I'm saying? Saeed is like, look here, y'all, calm down. This island is full of food. So all we gotta do is find it. That's all we gotta do is find it. And they like Sawyer say, no, how we gonna do that? Okay. Then all of a sudden you see this knife just fly past Sawyer's head, right into the seat, because he had sat down on one of the plane seats. Right into the seat, right next to Sawyer's head. And everybody looking like, what the hell? Where'd that come from? Baby, it's John Locke. Apparently, he had checked on the plane a full briefcase of knives. Sharp and pretty. Y'all know I got a thing for knives. I got a thing for knives. Sharp and pretty. They was on the plane. And he knew about like the habit of the boars, you know, how they hunt, how they circle around each other, you know, the possible weight of the pigs that we saw. He said they gotta be a mama somewhere around. She gotta be bigger. Well, we saw them little 150 pound pork chops. Those was babies. Those was babies. So I need a couple people to go out there with me. Y'all distract the mama. She about 250 pounds. And I'm going to get me one of them piglets, okay? And Hurley like, who is this guy? Like, who is he? Okay. So, well, we venture back to before. And Locke is on the phone. Somebody's calling him Colonel. And it seems like he's handling military attack operations. So he took the call seemingly in the midst of the operation, but then one of his co-workers or his boss, I wasn't sure exactly what it was, he comes over and he's like, hey, we need those files by noon. Get the fuck off the phone. Why are you taking personal calls? That's what made me think it was his boss, but then later on I was like, I ain't sure. So anyway, I was like, what Locke got going on? Why is he on the phone? He worked for the CIA. Don't nobody know who he is, you know what I'm saying? And what he really is like almost like a survival cosplayer, so to speak. Like, you know, they like to plan simulated quests and they fully embody the character. Anywho, I don't even know if that's a real thing. I just made it up. But that's what that's the best way for me to describe it to you. So, Kate, she's gonna venture off with John Locke off into the woods and go hunt this boar, and Michael was gonna tag along too. And Jack is asking Kate like, why every time somebody go off into the doggone woods, you want to tag along and you know what's out there? And she's like, well, why do you think I don't know how to hunt? You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, because it seems like you running away from something. Like you can't sit that still and stay in one place at the same time. Sit still at the same. What? You make it seem like you can't sit still. I think that's the end of the sentence. What you running from, girl? So she tells him, you know, about the device that Saeed was building. Like he's trying to create an antenna and they need to get it up high somewhere. So she gonna take that out there. So she kind of it's a twofold situation for her at this particular point. She said she's a vegetarian anyway, so she ain't gonna eat the pig. Okay. Anywho, Michael, like I said, he's tagging along as well. And I was surprised because he seemed a bit scary to me. Maybe I'm just thinking about him as Birch, you know, Merch. I'm thinking of him as Merch, you know, a little bit scary, a little bit shy, a little bit timid, you know what I'm saying? But he even communicates with Sun. I was going to say talk to Sun, but they still don't know each other's language. He communicates with Sun, and she agrees to watch little Walt when he's gone until he comes back. Walt was like, whatever, you know. And I was like, if Jen found out, he ain't gonna be too pleased about that either. So Claire, she's planning a memorial service for all the bodies that are inside the plane. They plan to burn them. And she said, you know, it's only the right thing to do. She seek Jack's assistance and he like, that ain't my thing. Go ahead with you. You know, most doctors are not, well, the way that they portray him on TV, most doctors on TV are not really religious or into God. And so Jack was like, that's just not my fucking thing. So Boone spots the old lady Rose sitting alone on the beach. He says she been out there by herself for a long time. He don't think she eating. He don't think she drinking. And we haven't seen her since the first episode. Shannon rolls up on Charlie, who was about to go take a hit. He been, remember he got his little stash of smack, and he steady been taking a hit. I don't know if he was about to take it or just finished when she walked up. But she goes off for a little walk and try to convince Charlie to go fishing for her because she just told Boone that she know how to catch a fish and get her own food. So Boone, he goes and convinces Jack, please go talk to the old lady Rose. Just go talk to her. And he tell her the situation. He was like, you did save her, so please, I figure you'd be the best one to go out there. So out in the jungle, they finally reached the boar's den, and Locke is tuned in, baby. Locke is locked in. He tried to talk to them with his hands, give them signals and everything like that. And Michael was like, why the fuck is he giving us baseball signals? And remember, John Locke is really not a survivalist. He just playing one. So he giving baseball signals instead of actual military signals. But right when Michael said that, the boar charged at them. Locke snatched up Kate just in time, but he ends up nicking her in the face with his knife that he was having in his hand. Michael, the boar, got him real bad in the leg, cut his leg open, you know what I'm saying? So back in the day, like I said, Locke wasn't a cosplayer. But for lunch, him and his co-worker used to play a healthy game of war. I remember the game. I don't remember the name of it, though. But it had little army men pieces and stuff like that. And you could move across the board and you had strategy in order for you to move. Almost kind of like chess, so to speak. I just can't remember the name of that doggone game. And his boss, his name is Randy. I'm going to just call him Randy because I don't know if his boss or his co-worker. He comes in and he hears Locke talking about being a leader. He's like, what the fuck you know about being a leader? You weren't even in the army before. Why are we calling you colonel? I looked up your files. Gotta be his boss to be looking up his files. And Locke is like, you know what? It's just a game. Lighten up, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my lunch period and I'm playing the game. I bet people who play D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, they probably feel the same way because people tease them about dressing up and pretending to be the characters and things like that. And it's like an adult game that you're playing. Anywho, Randy tell him that he went through his property and he see his little pamphlet for this little retreat he trying to go on. Randy all up in Locke's business. And he like, we was at my desk? He said, yeah. What the hell is this Walkabout? Okay, that's what the name of the little trek was called. Walkabout, down in Australia, where he can go do survival shit, hunt, and feed off the land. And I swear, I'm gonna tell y'all too much information secret right here. I want to go on one of those type retreats, but I'm not trusting the people. I just want to go like on a nature hike with a bunch of people and, feed off the land and shit like that. I'm squeamish, so I probably won't be able to fish and I probably won't be able to gut my own food, but I want to experience at least once in life or something, but I don't trust people. I be thinking that they gonna get me out there because I'm probably gonna be the only black one. And if there is another black person, that black person don't really know that they black. Okay, so I'm thinking that I'm gonna get out there and these motherfuckers gonna take me and harvest my organs or some shit like that. Or they gonna drug me up and turn me into a sex slave. So, I never booked the trips, but I be wanting to go. I do. I mean, a sex retreat is still on my bucket list of fantasy things to do. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? But again, I don't trust people. I don't trust people. I've been wanting to go to hedonism, but I don't trust people. And what if I go on like a sex retreat and the people are unattractive to me? What if I'm unattractive to them? And I can't go with a friend because I don't want nobody knowing my damn business like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all because y'all motherfuckers don't know me for real. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? I have to go solo dolo. I don't need nobody coming back telling people what I did or what we did. And they be acting like, I ain't gonna say nothing. And then in joking conversation, I was just joking. It just came out. No, ain't nobody can be going there talking about what poetry did in the woods. Okay? So I gotta go alone. But I can't go alone. Why? Because I don't trust people. Nope, it's too much pressure. Too much pressure. That's why it's on my fantasy bucket list, because it'll never happen. It's never gonna freaking happen. But it's on the list. It's on the list. Oh no, child. Back to John Locke. Randy is like, okay, so you gonna walk around hunting and gathering food and stuff on foot. Okay, now that statement means something because John Locke, again, at the beginning they showed him wiggling his little toes. So what's up with John Locke's foot? Okay, and Locke is like, it's more of a spiritual journey than anything, a connection with nature that you can't separate from, right? And he's like, I already got the days off, Randy. I I already got the days off, and I'm going. And then the dude he was playing the game with was like, "You going without Helen?" He was like, "Helen, you got a woman too? Where the hell that happened? You got a woman?" So Locke was like, "You getting on my damn nerves." That's pretty much the look that he had on his face. But Randy's like, "How you gonna do that, son? How you gonna do it? You can't do anything on this doggone trip. You can't do none of this. Excuse me, none of this stuff." John say, "Look here, I know a double amputee that was able to climb a doggone mountain. So don't tell me what I can't do. Don't tell me what I can't do." So we go back to the jungle. And Michael is hurt, like I said, real bad. And he got to go back to the camp. So Locke tell Kate, "Go on, take him back to her. I'm going to go on and find this boar." But he calls Kate Helen. And Kate is like, "Who the hell is Helen? And what do you mean you finna go without her? You can't do that by yourself." He said he going after the doggone boar. He fine. He got this. And Kate again says, "You cannot do that, John." And he like, "Don't tell me what I can't do." And he just trudged off into the jungle alone. Back at the beach, the fishing not going well. Like Charlie done got Hurley in the water now, because Hurley said he knew how to fish too. But Hurley like, "I used to fish with a fishing line out in the water with my daddy with some bait and all that stuff. Not no spear fishing. I don't know what the heck this is about." But because Charlie had lied to Shannon and said he know how to fish, so now he got to get Hurley to help him fish. And we learned back in the day that Locke told Randy off. He done quit his doggone job. He is about to go off on a venture of a lifetime, and he got 2 tickets. One for him and one for Helen. He on the phone with Helen, and Helen was like, "I'm so happy for you, John." But we talked about this before. Okay. I was like, "Oh my goodness, she finna dump him." Then she said, "I'm not allowed to meet customers." Baby, John Locke is on one of them lava lines. Y'all remember them from back in the day where you can call up and can meet somebody and stuff like that? Or them you call for 99 cents a minute. You can talk to somebody about all your fantasies and y'all just, it's like sexting, but you actually speaking to somebody. That's what John Locke is doing. And she like, "Look here." She tell him, "This is not something that I normally do. You're a customer, okay? You are a customer." And I'm like, John Locke, he's delusional. Not only he playing survivalist or playing a military commandant, now he's playing like he's Helen's boyfriend, and he's none of these things, right? But he say to her, "Is that all I am to you as a customer?" She's like, "John, get a therapist, boo. Get a therapist. If I keep talking to you, I'm gonna have to charge you again $89.95, and you know damn well you can't afford that. And you just quit your job too. You can't afford this." He's like, "I don't care about the money." She said, "Boy, bye." Click. Hung up on him. Hung up. Now we go back out there in the doggone wilderness, and Kate and Michael trying to make their way back to camp. And Kate spots a tall tree. Now remember, her second mission was to try to plant that antenna high up so they could boost the signal. So she decides to climb this tree to plant that device. And as soon as she get up high enough, a shrilling sound comes through the air, shakes the whole world. She ends up dropping the doggone antenna, falls down by Michael. Now she was up there pretty high, so it busted that damn thing all the way up. Michael, he's still sitting on the ground like, what the fuck is going on? She up so high, so she sees that the tall grass is bending, child. Now y'all know when the tall grass starts to bend, there's some monsters coming through. It's something coming through, right? And she look and she see that the monster is coming up on Locke, and he's down there on the ground. Well, it came out of the woods. We still didn't get to see it though, but we know it was tall as a skyscraper, because John Locke was looking like this, like, "Just take me. The universe, I'm a part of the universe. I'm yours. If I'm meant to go, I'm meant to go. That's part of what my journey is all about." Right? So, he stood there on it. He looked fear in the eyes. Or he was just too scared to run. One of the two. It was one of the two. Well, Michael and Kate, they make it back to camp, and Walt is like, "Where's Mr. Locke?" Now he asked about his daddy too. I'm just skipping over that part. But he concerned about where Mr. Locke is at. Even Boone was concerned. He go back there and tell Shannon the ball guy didn't come back, and Shannon is like, "What the fuck you mean? He didn't bring no food?" He like, "You selfish as fuck. Somebody might have died. You pretty worried about the food." She was like, "Well, everybody gonna die. We don't get no damn food." But just in time, Charlie walks up with a big fish. I forgot what kind of fish that was. I just saw that on the TV show alone. They was talking about it in the Alaskan waters. It was like a reddish color fish. They just talked about that on the loan. Dog, what was that fish called? I just started the TV series alone. Okay, anyway, Charlie called her a fish. And Boone is like, bro, I'm so sorry. Baby, Shannon just used him. We knew this. Charlie thought that Shannon liked him. And then, you know, she was going to seem heroic. He was going to seem heroic since he called her a fish. Shannon was like, I just use what I got to get what I need. Okay, so don't act like I can't fend for myself. I got the fish, didn't I? And Charlie's sitting there like, ain't this a bitch? Feeling like a duck, because that's what you were. You got played, sir. You got played. So Jack told Rose, we're going to go do a memorial, you know, and we're going to burn the bodies. And you might want to say something about your husband, because she was sitting there reminiscing on the beach side about him. And she said she wanted to attend, but her husband ain't dead. And Jack was like, what the fuck you mean your husband ain't dead? He was in the back of the plane that blew off. They died. And Rose said, I bet they're saying the same thing about us. And I was like, oh, damn, she got a point. Only ones that we know are dead for sure are the ones that we have a body for. Everybody else could have survived just like we survived. And then Jack looked up and saw a man in a black suit just standing there in the woods looking at him. And, you know, he looked at him a couple times, and then he looked over at Rose for a second and back over there, and the man was gone. And then just like Saeed's hope, it's fading fast. You know, because Kate brought him back that busted up antenna, and he was like, look, fuck that shit. I'm tired of it. And Kate say, look, hey, don't give up. We're going to get off this island. Don't give up, right? So she tells Jack that Locke did not make it. She saw that thing heading towards him, and there was no way that he could have survived that. Then Jack looked again and saw the man again. So he took off after him in the woods this time. And Kate like, what the hell happened? But she followed him because, again, Kate goes where everybody goes. But when he got into the woods, he didn't see the man. Who he's find? John Locke. Bloodied and beaten up with a dead boar. Dragging along on the ground, baby. They finna eat good tonight. They finna eat good tonight. Where they have the little memorial, right? And Claire is reading off all the names and little information that she can find about each passenger. You got the plane burning in the background. I know that stunk. Because burning bodies stink. Okay, we had to burn bodies when we was in Somali. The burning bodies stink. Charlie, he took away from the crowd for a second, got his little fix. I'm like, how much dope do he got in that bag? But I'm like, Michael, he stood there and he thanked Locke for the food and asked about the monster. His Kate said he saw the monster rushing at him. Locke claimed he never saw it. Now we know he did, but I wonder why he told him that story, that he never saw it. Well, we go back to when he first arrived in Australia for his little trek, for his walkabout. The tour agency is denying him, saying that you lied to us, you omitted some information about yourself. Our insurance is not going to cover you on this trek. Well, remember in the first episode when they was moving stuff to and fro and they had this wheelchair? Baby, that's John Locke's. He in a wheelchair. He can't walk. He been paralyzed from the waist down for the last 4 years. So now we know what the miracle was that he told Walt that he had experienced. Because he walking around in this island, baby, facing monsters, killing boars and shit. I'm surprised nobody remembers him being boarded on the plane with a wheelchair. And he walking. He surviving. He walking out. John is walking out, baby. Miracles is happening on this island. That's another thing that we have. Another mysterious thing that's popping off. Talk to you later. We see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.